Five. Welcome everyone to our weekly Ask a Cleaning Expert. I'm your host, Melissa Homer, Chief Cleaning Officer of Microfiber Wholesale. I am a cleaning expert with over 20 years experience in professional cleaning, both residential and commercial, manufacturer side, and sides of the cleaning company and cleaners like you. I am here to help professionals and home cleaning enthusiasts with all their cleaning questions. This week, our theme is going to be hard floor care. We are going to answer questions like we always do about any topic. So don't worry, I will gladly pop on topic or off topic depending on what you need. But we're going to give each week a central theme so our regular listeners can start to learn and become cleaning experts just like me. I want to retire at some point. I'm going to need someone to bestow this crown to. So, hey, keep watching and maybe I can get my Microfiber Wholesale to hire you when I retire. My goal is I want to democratize cleaning advice and expert cleaning knowledge. Up until now, it used to be if you wanted expert knowledge on cleaning, you had to join a big franchise and pay thousands in royalties to get access to expert advice like mine. I know because I used to work at one of the largest residential cleaning franchises in North America for over 18 years. I selected their products. I tested chemicals and equipment and vacuums and microfiber, which is how I found Microfiber Wholesale. I used to go to industry trade shows and go to educational classes and everything I could to become as specialized in my knowledge. And frankly, most home cleaners and professional cleaners have very little access to someone who spent that kind of hours perfecting their craft. I have supported over 300 cleaning businesses for 18 years straight, each of them with at least 20 to 80 maids apiece. So we're talking 5,000 plus cleaners and their constant challenges live in the field all trickle back to me as their main tech support for cleaning. So any cleaning question you've got, I've been asked it at least 300 times and I've answered it and I've perfected my solution to it because that was my job, was to get these questions, find an answer, bring it back to the field, see how it worked, and then iteratively improve it. Say, how can I help them avoid it in the first place? How can I help them fix it easier? How can I make that surface look just like new? And that's been my job for decades. And now I get to bring that information to the world thanks to Microfiber Wholesale. So it's a lot of fun and I'm having a blast and I hope you're enjoying it. To keep me on target though, we're going to start giving me weekly themes because I could talk about anything clean for hours and we all have lives. So this week we're going to focus on floor cleaning. Your job is to like, subscribe, and follow. So this week you can learn about floor cleaning, and next week we can talk about laundry care, or we can talk about hard water, we could talk about whatever it is you guys want. If you're here and you're in the comments, you get to decide the themes. I'm looking to my subscribers, my active listeners, to tell me what helps them become the best cleaner they can be. So get in those chats. Give me your questions about cleaning. Give me the topics you want me to cover in future weeks. And I'll listen and help you because my goal, again, is to help each and every one of you get the advice you deserve. For far too long, most people have been kind of figuring it out on their own or being taught by their parents who never got formal teaching on cleaning either. And there's so much misinformation out there. I love you all on Clean Talk, but some of your ideas are trash. Sorry I said that out loud, but it's true. And I go on there and watch you all make mustard gas in toilets, and people are getting hurt. People are ruining their stuff, and I want to fix it. So that's why I'm here, and that's why you're watching me. So let's talk floor care. And again, anyone that's listening live, feel free to start hopping in the chat and filling me up with questions. So I'm done with this little spiel. We can get right into the action. So I will actually shamelessly plug, and I got a new feature that I'm going to show off here, that we just published a wonderful article I've been working really hard on the best way to clean all your hard floors. So you're going to hear this live from me today. I'm going to share with you everything I know about floor care. But if you're like, oh, I don't want to take down furious notes, you don't have to. You just scan that little QR code with your phone and hop over to microfiberwholesale.com on our blog, and you will see this article, and it will include all the information I've been sharing with you here today, and you can go back and use it as a reference, and you will never trash another hard floor again. So go ahead and check out the article. Not right now, you want to hang out in the live, but that's so you don't feel like you have to nervously take notes. You've got all this information waiting for you, and you read the details later in the article. And it's got videos and all sorts of the fun stuff too, so be sure to give it a look and a like. All right, so let's talk hard floor care. Hard floor care is wildly misunderstood. Reason being is most people just learn to mop from their family. And when you're learning to mop, you're a kid, right? And mom's trying to get you to help. And they're just so desperate to try to get you to start cleaning, they're not correcting much. They're telling you, okay, go mop the floor, and you get the bucket out with them and they make some soapy water for you. And it's fun. It's playing with water, right? So you're dunking and you're splashing and you're scrubbing and you're dunking and you're splashing and you're scrubbing and you're flopping water everywhere. And frankly, mom's just so happy to see you helping. They're like, good job, sweetie. And you learn that hard floor cleaning is how wet you get the floor. Look, mom, it's all wet. I made a big mess. It's clean now, right? Well, guess what? You actually just made more of a mess. You didn't actually usually clean much. The reality is, hard floor cleaning isn't about applying soap to the floor. Cleaning is always about absorbing dirt-filled water and removing it from the floor. The extraction, the lift stage, the drying up is the cleaning action. Application of soap doesn't mean a thing. You could put down water and be more effective if you don't sop it all up, which is actually, by the way, why microfiber works so well, because it's the power of microfiber that allows it to be the best at that extraction and drying up stage. If you try with a cotton string mop, if you try with this old school sponge mop or any of those other tools, they just didn't have as much grabbing power to hold on to that dirt residue and oil and grit and grease and soap residue. So frankly, you ended up with dirty floors where the grout got all gross and all the textures got gross because nothing was able to lift the dirt out. When you perfect your extraction stage, your removal stage of floor cleaning, it's going to change your game. You got to focus on the dirt removal, not the soap application. That's big lesson number one. Big lesson number two is it's all about preventative maintenance. I don't care what floor you've got. You could have tile floor, laminate floor, wood floor, concrete floor, any flat floor. If you're waiting until it's gross to go near it, you're making your work 10 times harder. Most soils on any surface, vertical, flat, floor, or ceiling, the longer they're there, the more it hardens, the more it dries, the more it soaks in, and you're making life so much harder for yourself, especially with a lot of the specialty floors that are out there today. These days, sorry, just getting a little ping on the side here. These days, most people's floors are, frankly, more delicate than they should be. I miss the old school days when everyone had good old tile floors and, easy to maintain floors. Now we've got all of these fussy, Brazilian nutwood floor and ultra thin laminate floors and all these other marble floors and very high maintenance floors that require a lot more TLC. They're delicate, they're easily scratched, they're easily waterlogged. And as a result, you can't go ham on them when you finally get round to cleaning. If you wait too long and everything's crusty and dried and soaked in, it used to be with an old, ceramic floor, you could just go scrub away and you'd be fine. But if you try to do that to some cheap Home Depot laminate, you're in big trouble. So step number one is preventative maintenance. Discover dry dusting, please. Dry dusting, it's a thing. Or use your vacuum. I don't care which. I'm a proponent of both. But any sort of maintenance on your floor regularly before things get too far is going to make your life so much easier. Everyone says, oh, I hate taking care of my floors. You hate it because you wait too long. Get a dust mop and on the regular, just leave it in your closet, easy peasy, and just dust away. If you don't feel like doing it, go ahead and get yourself a Roomba. I respect it. It's not going to replace mopping and real sweeping, but it's going to take care of that regular maintenance for you. Frankly, the dry duster, though, is way cheaper than the Roomba and doesn't take long if you do it regularly. So get a good dust mop and maintain the floor. That way, when it comes time for mopping, it's not nearly so bad. Next big lesson is less is more on almost all floor. I know I like rhyming things, forgive me. When it comes to floor cleaning, especially these days in modern floors, all the laminates, all the stone floors, They're all sensitive to water damage. They just are. Even old school hardwood floors. Polyurethane is better than it used to be, those old wax finishes, but all finishes are water resistant. They're not waterproof. They do absorb dirt and soils. So if you go out there with this big bucket and this huge sloppy string mop and you're lopping all this water onto the floor and you don't soak it up fast enough, you're getting water into the cracks underneath the flooring. You are destroying subflooring. You're destroying the fibers of your laminate flooring. You're getting mold growth. You're getting all kinds of damage. And I've seen it everywhere. Everyone's like, oh no, my laminate is bubbling along the seams. Oh no, it's bubbling by the baseboards. Oh no, I trashed my hardwood floors. Yeah, you did, because you used too much water. And yeah, I'm calling you out, O-Cedar Mop. People love it because it's this, fidget, basically. Let's be honest. The O-Cedar is a fidget for adults. I said it out loud. Come hate me. I don't care. It's true. And y'all are having so much fun playing with your little fidget toy and plunge and scrub and plunge and scrub. You forget to mop up the water. You gotta be careful, guys. Get the water off the floor fast. Don't use too much. Actually, for professional cleaning, I trained people to take a flat mop, rinse and bring it out as dry as you can so it's lightly damp, and use a spray bottle to spray the floor so they're using as minimal water as possible. You know why? Modern soaps only require 1 millimeter of water to suspend and lift dirt. That's it. 1 millimeter. I know you as a kid used to sit there plunging and scrubbing with that big bucket, but that's because old school soaps sucked. They weren't very good. When you saw Cinderella with those old double buckets, it's because old-fashioned lye soap couldn't hold and suspend dirt very well. They had that big tall bucket so that the dirt would fall to the bottom of the bucket and the water up top would kind of stay fresh. That's why they did it that way. But modern soap only needs 1 millimeter. Stop flooding your floors. Use a little bit, rinse and wring it out well, and go ahead and mop. Actually, if you're using a high quality microfiber mop like Microfiber Wholesale, you can actually do it with just plain water as long as you do it frequently enough. If you've ignored your floors till they're trashed, you're going to need some soap. But if you're maintaining, it's all about, again, that extraction, that lift of dirt. And microfiber can do it on its own so long as the stuff isn't too dried and embedded in there. At that point, you may need a soap product, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But big picture, less water, guys. Stop flooding your floors. It's going to make it so much easier for you to extract and get everything out. Next big hint is less is more on the soap too. I see a lot of people all excited to douse their floors in vinegar and whatever hardcore cleaner they've gotten. Vinegar is an acid, people, which means it eats at sealants and finishes. Your wood floor's polyurethane layer, you're dissolving it. Your sealants on your pretty stone floor, you're dissolving them too. Your marble floor, you're actually dissolving the stone. Stop it with the hard cleaners. And you think, vinegar is natural, it's so delicate. No, it's not. It's vinegar. It's acid. You're dissolving things. Cut it out. What you want is a neutral pH floor soap. Hear the words, neutral pH. That's the middle. That's not dissolving your finishes, not heavy alkaline. Neutral. Products like Mr. Clean, Fabuloso, Bona. There's so many to choose from. And again, if you check out my article that I linked to earlier, you're going to find them all listed in there. There's specialty products for stone that, again, are neutral pH. Black Diamond's one of my favorites, that are going to be full of surfactants. That's the stuff in soap that sticks to dirt and oil and lifts it up in the air, or lifts it up in the water, so that you can absorb it into your mop and pull it away. If you're just playing around with acids, acids don't have surfactants in them. They do not lift and pull up the dirt. What you're doing, by the way, if you're using vinegar on your wood floors, is you're softening the finish and you're leaving all the little particles behind so they get stomped into your softened finish, which is why your old wood floors look like crap. There, I told you what the problem is. Stop it. You're probably gonna have to get a wood guy out to sand and recoat because you've already done the damage, but going forward, get the vinegar off your hardwood and get a neutral pH floor soap. You're welcome. Oh, and a good microfiber mop. You're double welcome. Now, I see some questions are starting to build up, so I want to get to them, and we'll give you some more floor cleaning knowledge as we get through the questions. So let's go ahead and get in here. My house is all ceramic tile. Best way to clean it without reusing dirty mop water? Great question. So the reality is the best way to mop, most people don't do it, but I'll be honest, is a double bucket system. And what that means is you've got your soap and your rinse water, and neither the twain shall meet. So if you are using either a flat mop or a string mop or an old school sponge mop, please don't use those, by the way, they're gross. But whatever mop you got, you're dunking it in the soap water, wring it out, mop to your heart's content until it's dirty and saturated. Then you're rinsing it out in the rinse water to get all the junk out, wring it out well, and then dip it back in the soap water that's fresh to reapply into a new area. If you do that, you're never recontaminating your soap water. You get to keep one bucket and clean the whole floor beautifully without applying dirty water. Now, truth be told, good soap can handle still mopping with some dirt in it, but it does hit saturation points. So it's important to watch that mop water. If you're only mopping with one bucket, you can do it, but you have to watch how dirty it's getting and know when to call it quits. The easiest way, in my opinion, is the spray mop bottle method I alluded to earlier. If you want to mop even tile floors, wood floors, whatever it is, I find it's very easy to keep the water separate by having a rinse bucket and a spray bottle, or even just your sink can act as your rinse bucket. All you need to do is rinse and wring out your microfiber flat mop, because of course that's my favorite. Slap it on so you've got some dampness in there to help rinse off the dirt. Take your spray bottle, put in there, quarter warm water and a fourth of what you usually use in that bucket of gallon of water. Usually for most products, it's 2 ounces per gallon. So you're looking at half an ounce per spray bottle, which is usually going to be like a tablespoon or two. Okay, so dump that in there and get spraying. And you spritz a little section, mop a little section, spritz a little section, mop a little section. It's easy. There's no big bucket to slosh around. And when the mop head gets dirty, you're checking it every, couple of sections. When you see it's dirty, you go to the sink, rinse and wring it out, slap it back on, keep going. Or you have a bucket with you, dunk and wring it out, keep going. And that way you're never contaminating your soap with dirty contaminants that you've been pulling up. It stays fresh and you can use only like a quart bottle to clean the whole floor. The EPA did studies, by the way, and they proved that that method I just described to you, that flat mopping with microfiber and minimal chemical, can actually save big facilities 95% of water and chemical usage. Homes too, by the way. Can you imagine how much fresh water and soap we could save as a country if people learned to mop properly with microfiber and restrict their water usage when they clean? They'd get better, cleaner floors, and we would save so much drinking water. It's ridiculous. But everyone watched Cinderella when they're a kid and they learned to dunk in the bucket and they like playing with their Fidget-O-Seeder. So it's going to take us a few years to get there, but hopefully people learn eventually. So for your ceramic tile question, you can do it with 2 buckets. You can do it with a spray bottle, but big picture, less soap, less dumping, more absorbing. Hope that helps. Next question I got here is from Crystal. What do you prefer for wet mopping? Thinking about the Mucho Mop, can you give me a promo code for it? Worried about rinsing and wringing. Great question. So first, thank you for the reminder, Crystal, about promo codes. You're exactly right. This is my weekly live. I owe you guys promo codes and free stuff, don't I? So first, let's get on that, shouldn't I? Let's see here. First, we're going to give you this week's promo code. It's Floor Care 15. Get buying, guys. Floor Care 15. From me to you. You came to the live, you get the extra treats. So Floor Care 15 is going to get you 15% off anything you buy on microfiberwholesale.com. It's good for the whole week. You gotta come back next week to get the next week's one. So show up. All right. So thank you for the reminder, Crystal. As to the Mucho Mop, I love the Mucho Mop. It is a blast to clean with. But I want to note what it's really good for. So the Mucho Mop, let me see if I have it to show you guys. And indeed I do. Perfect. This is my newest favorite toy. The Mucho Mop, we designed it to work on uneven flooring. Now, it can do any floor, so you can use it for your hardwood and everything else too. But where this is going to shine is your uneven floors. So if you've got tile floor and you want to get in those grout lines, you like my fingers? Okay, it goes right on in there. If you got slate stone, you got any sort of annoying textured floors, this is going to give you that scrub. And on those flat laminate smooth floors, if you've got a dog that drools everywhere, you know those dogs, This is the mop you want. It's gonna save you so much frustration. Trust me. It's great. Now, you are correct that you do need to be mindful about wringing it out. It's not hard to do. Don't worry. It's not going to stop you from enjoying it, but you just have to be a little mindful. So the way you're going to do it is you're going to take it and twist. And when you twist, all those little guys do get, actually do it outside ways here. Gonna get all squeezed out. I'll usually do a little pull through as well at the end to make sure I get any last bits out of those little chenille fingers and keep it nice and damp, not sopping. Because you are correct that these little fingers are going to be able to absorb a lot of water. This is more microfiber per head than most people are used to. If you are working with a traditional flat mop head, if you're working with a traditional flat mop head, and I'm talking to you guys instead of my wall, you'll see that they have a lot of microfiber, but they're flat, they're thinner. They don't have as much stuff to them. When you compare that to a Mucho mop, because it's trying to navigate all those uneven surfaces, you can see it's a heck of a lot thicker, right? So there's a lot more material here to absorb water. So you do need to be mindful about wringing it out. The benefit of that is it's going to really work well on that ceramic tile, on that, grungy floors. But you got to be careful. With great power comes great responsibility to wring it out so you're not slopping a ton of water on the floor, again, like an old school string mop. Let's see here. And actually, I'm allowed to send some samples. So Crystal, you've been on here a couple weeks. I've been seeing you. You're going to DM us at the end of the show and make sure we get your contact information because I want to send you a sample of a couple pads. I'm presuming you have an 18-inch flat mop at home. So let me send you some of the Mucho Mop pads to try out. Maybe you can come on next week and tell us how awesome they are. Sound like a good deal? Cool. Remember, comment to us because, I see you on here, but I don't know where you live, okay? But I'll gladly give you those out to you. Let's see. Next question here. What is the best item to use to pick up dog fur from everything? Oh, I feel that one in my soul, Carrie. It's tough. Okay, so let's talk dog hair. It's related to floors, actually, so we'll go there, but it honestly, dog hair is harder on the soft surfaces than it is the hard ones. So let's talk dog hair and getting dog hair off of everywhere. There, now I sound like Dr. Seuss. Anyhow, what you're doing is trying to manage things systemically. What I see people do all the time is they go, oh, the dog hair is everywhere. And really it's because they're not vacuuming enough. They're not getting it off their upholstery enough. They're not dusting well enough. And so the dander and fur that's from everywhere is ending up all over their floors. They vacuum and mop actually they vacuum and sweep poorly. It gets kicked up in the air, they mop, and it all lands back on there again. Or people sit down on the couch and it falls off of it again. And they go, oh, I just did this floor. Why does it look like crap? It's like, well, because you didn't get the rest of the hair that was all in the room. Hair floats. So if you want to address your dog hair issue, it's a systemic issue, not just a floor issue. So let's talk about all the ways to get rid of dog hair. 1, you want to use a vacuum as much as you can. Extraction and suction are going to get that dog hair out so much easier than any other method that kicks it around. Dog hair loves to fly, so when you suck at it, it will actually pull it away and hold on to it as opposed to whatever broom you're using that's whipping it up in the air. So if you have a upright vacuum that's designed for hard floors or a canister vacuum, ideally a canister vacuum with a long-haired, a hard floor brush that has long brush bristles, that type of long brush bristle type attachment. Most vacuums have them. If you can, get a hold of one of those. Will make your floors so much easier to manage if you have pets. Because that brush is going to flick off all those stuck on pet hairs from the floor and get them to suck up properly into the machine. So step number 1, vacuum more. Vacuum your couches, vacuum your upholstered chairs, vacuum your floors, vacuum your air register vents, anything you can vacuum. The hairs are everywhere. The more you vacuum, the easier everything's going to be. So again, if you have a hard floor brush, use it as everywhere you can. If you've got an upright that doesn't do that, okay, fine. Now we're going to go to dry dusting. Dry dusting is wonderful. Honestly, in some ways, it's better than the vacuum because it's so light and maneuverable. You can get it around furniture legs. You can get it under the couch. You can get it anywhere. Just take a dry dust mop, stick it on your mop frame. Good microfiber one, of course, the Microfiber Wholesale, but whiz that thing around and it's going to take away so much of the pet hair and hold on to it so it doesn't go flying. Don't sweep dog hair. You'll regret it, okay? Suction or dry dust. Get as much as you can. For the couches, I highly recommend getting one of those little rotary brushes that is air driven. So you'll see a bunch of them online if you type in Amazon. Air driven spin brush, vacuum spin brush, vacuum upholstery spin brush, lots of keywords. You'll see several models out there where it's usually a little 4-inch wide head that's got a little turbine that's drawn by the suction of the air to spin, and it makes a little brush spin. Those are wonderful for pulling pet hair out of the couch and out of the upholstered chairs. If you do that regularly, your floors are going to thank you, because that's where all the hair is coming from more often than not. If you don't have a particularly good vacuum and you don't want to invest in one right now, the other option is rubber. So whether it's rubber gloves or a little rubber brush, again, if you type in rubber brush to Amazon or wherever you want to go, you'll often see these little, black fingered rubber brushes. And if you do a little quick flicking motion like that, it will grab and mat and lift up and put together all the pet hair and pull it off of the surface of the couch and pull it off of the surface of the carpet. I've actually seen rubber brooms, if you go on Amazon, that I love, that they will screw right onto your mop pole from Microfiber Wholesale. It says, typical Acme thread. And you can use that to, again, little quick motions, pull it off of the carpet, pull it off, use it with your hand to work it down your upholstery and get all that cat hair, especially the long cat hair that weaves itself into the fabric. I hate that. It pulls it all out great. So the spin brush is easier, but if you have to go manual, rubber is the next thing you want. The last thing is a good quality mop. Once you've vacuumed everything, once you've gotten the brush off of everything, you can use a microfiber chenille duster to get all the high dusting, because you would be surprised how high that pet hair can go. Use microfiber everywhere you can to grab onto that pet hair and pull it away. You still have to mop well. And a scrubby mop head, again, like the Mutra mop or our premium quality wet mop heads, have that power of microfiber to grab and hold on to the finest hairs and help wash them off the floor and take them away. So that is your best bet for getting fur off everything. And as one dog lover to the other hand is, I hate to tell you this, brush the dog more often and brush him outside. I know it's a pain in the duck, but the reality is the more you keep up with their coat, the better off you're going to be. Now, is it going to solve everything? No. But if you're waiting until it's coming off of them like tumbleweed, you're going to have more work. So I will say the Furinator brush is one of the best out there if you haven't discovered it yet. That's going to help get a lot of that coat off. Cats, good luck. At least they lick themselves, but you're not coming after a cat with Furinator. Let's see here. What's the difference between cleaning vinegar and white distilled vinegar? Great question, Gretchen. Oh, we're getting technical here. So there's two differences, and depending on what you're getting. So always read the bottle. So don't quote me on this, because you're depending what you've got in what store. So big picture is, when a company tells you it's a foodstuff versus a non-foodstuff, they're committing in terms of their manufacturing process whether this is food grade. So if a company is putting out vinegar for cleaning, they're basically giving themselves a CYA. They didn't have to be as careful in their manufacturing processes to make sure it's not going to get anything in you that makes you sick, in terms of bacteria or whatever else. Obviously, it's vinegar. It's not going to have anything bad to it, but there's different regulations around when I say something's a food stuff versus when I say it's a soap. So big picture number one, the difference is legal. It's about I'm committing you can drink this, I'm committing you shouldn't drink it. So that's big number one. Big number two is it can also mean strength. Now, there are cleaning vinegars that are still 5%. Grocery store white vinegar, like you always get, is 5% acetic acid. That's what it always is. It's still a chemical, but we call it a foodstuff because it technically started as foodstuff, but it is acetic acid 5%. So that is what the standard food grade vinegar is. You can get cleaning vinegars that are acetic acid up to 10%. There are stronger cleaning vinegars where they put more acetic acid in the bottle. Always read the bottle to see how much vinegar they gave you. And double check because different companies may put out different amounts. But it can often be a much higher percentage. At that point, it's a much stronger acid. So be careful where you're using it, because if you're used to diluting down 5%, now having 10, 12%, depending what the product is, you can end up causing more damage. So just be mindful, always read your bottles, but that is what the difference is it's a commitment that you can drink it or you can't, and a commitment that one is likely to have a stronger level of acetic acid in it versus the foodstuffs. So hopefully that answers your question. Great question, by the way. I love getting all the geeky science questions here. I rock on, my fellow geeks. Thank you for showing up. I love it. All right. Michael says, love your products. I purchased my own 36-inch dry microfiber for cleaning the basketball courts where we play indoor pickleball. What a difference. Then on Friday, I will get a wet mop for the best traction. So glad I found your company. Oh, heart, Michael. Right back at you. Honestly, this is why I do my job. I was a loyal microfiber wholesale client for over 10 years. And I mean, a number one groupie. So like I feel you right here. That's why I came to work here. These guys are the real deal. I tested so much microfiber in my professional career, and no one could unseat microfiber wholesale. And everyone used to joke about what a groupie I was, but it was true. And I continue to be a groupie as much as I came to work here, because every microfiber I try versus their stuff just doesn't have the performance. And I can tell you, for that basketball court, my daughter plays, actually both my daughters play basketball, but my youngest one just started, so she's not quite ready for the WNBA yet. But my oldest one loves it and plays a lot. And I can tell you, some of those courts, I was about this close to go finding the dry dust mop myself and fixing it for them, because oh my God, gyms get gross and it drives me bonkers. And it's so nice to see a facility taking care of them properly. When you dry dust a basketball court, it makes a difference of the safety of the players. It makes a difference for the enjoyment of the people coming to watch, because no one wants to be there and like have something go under the bleachers and go under there going, ah, what's happened back here? Okay, facility management matters to everyone involved. So I love that you're taking great care of those floors. High quality dust mop is going to make such a difference on keeping the particulates off of them so they don't get embedded in from all that traction running around. What kills wood floors is the traction. It's the people running and walking, and they're basically rubbing as they go like this. And if there's dirt and granules and bits, now they've made their feet sandpaper, and they're sanding that wood finish every time they walk, jump, and throw a dunk, dunk and throw a shot. The action of that walking is making sandpaper if the floor isn't properly cleaned. So dry dusting is huge. And same for homeowners, by the way. Your front foyer, that's why all the wood looks like trash there, is if you don't have enough welcome mats, if you don't have a way for people to wipe off the grit off their floors, and you're not dry dusting regularly, people's feet act like sandpaper, and all the grit from outside comes in and sands up your floors. So that's the problem. Fix it. All right. Next question here. Crystal, how to clean inside spout of waterfall faucet. I'm in the Southwest with very hard water. These faucets tend to have specialized finishes, aka antique brass, copper, gold finish, and scratch or acid effects easily. Ugh, I feel you on this one. Okay, so to catch up everybody what's going on, what she's talking about is, if you've ever seen those gorgeous new faucets, and I love them, where it looks like, so there's like water spout that's like a cup, and it pours the water out over it rather than being a tube all the way to the end. It looks beautiful. It gives that sort of rippling water effect. It's very aesthetic. But now there's all the more water, landing there and waiting and sitting and drying, which means hard water minerals are going to build up in there way faster. And you can see it as opposed to inside the sink when you can't look at it. So yes, you have a problem. It's a pain in the neck. And you're also 100% correct that those faucets tend to be all these fussy designer finishes because it's trying to look beautiful, right? And so it's going to be antique bronze and copper and all these things that don't like acid. Crud. What do I do? The answer is faucet wax. Sorry about the cough. We'll try that again. If you have a sink that gets a lot of hard water on it and it's a beautiful finish and you want to keep it look it that way, faucet wax is for you. faucet wax. I'll actually see if I can get a link so you can find it later. I'm pretty sure I put a link to faucet wax in here. Come on. I guess I didn't add that yet. Okay, well, I'll add it for next time. But I'll tell you, if you type in faucet wax, you'll find it pretty easily. I could have sworn I added that link. Oh well, I'm not going to waste my time looking for it anymore. Faucet wax is what you want. It's a little black bottle. And what you're going to do is once you get that sink nice and clean, you're going to regularly polish it with faucet wax. It creates a beautiful shine and a hydrophobic coating, which causes all that hard water to bead and fall off and slough out easier out of that sink, so you're less likely to get that buildup. It's basically a bunch of waxes that make it harder for the minerals to bond to the metal. So over time, you're going to have way less hard water buildup. So faucet wax is your big friend. The other thing you need is a specialty stone scrub. You can use, depending on what your sink is made out of, you can use lighter acids depending on the sink. If it is a patinaed bronze or things like that, you don't want any acids because then you're going to start stripping those patina. But if it is some sort of fussy stainless steel or chrome, you can use Barkeeper's Friend for those types of bare metals. But if you have any sort of patina you're trying to preserve, keep the acids, even Barkeeper's Friend, off of it. And that includes the vinegar too, because that's also acid and it's going to eat through any patina type finish. But specialty products made for stone, like Stone Pro Glass and Stone Hard Water Remover, is a really fine jeweler's polish rouge, very, very fine grit that you can use to scrub off the hard water minerals without completely stripping off the patina. You have to be careful because it's still hard to do, but it will give you a better shot of getting that hard water off of there. Once it's off, it'll take a smellable grease, but you'll get it there. Keep the faucet wax on it, and it will never get that bad again. So that's how you handle it. Sorry for the long-winded explanation, but hopefully you'll have the beautiful sink going forward. Be sure to check in with me later and let me know how it worked out. Next question here. Rubber brooms are amazing. I use them on our rugs for years now. Just wish I knew where to find a sturdy one. The most recent replacement, the head keeps coming off the broom handle. Ugh, feel you on this. So, yay, Lynn, you're absolutely right. Rubber brooms are the best. Love them. I wish more people knew about them. But it's rubber. It's stretchy. And frankly, a millimeter's difference can be enough for things to come in and out of a Acme threading. So especially these days where it's been hard with manufacturing, the pandemic is technically over, but its impact is still there in terms of some of the shipping challenges people are still having. I've seen, and also the economy kind of being a little too. I've seen manufacturing, frankly, putting out things that aren't inspected as well as it should be on some commodities items, like things like cheap rubber brooms. So you kind of have to watch it. It's a pain in the neck. I'm going to tell you a really old school trick to fix it though. And I actually have it on my own deck broom outside right now, which is you can take a thin fabric and stuff it in the hole before you screw in the pole. I know I didn't tell you that. Microsoft Wholesale is going to kill me because that's not a professional thing at all. But if this is for your own house, if anyone's got a mop with an Acme thread that the threading isn't quite catching anymore, take like a little square of quilting fabric, a little thin cotton square, and just stick it over the hole and then jam the Acme threading in and twist, and the cotton will create enough friction, and it's thin enough that it won't make it so it doesn't fit, but it just creates enough friction to fill in that whole void and get a nice tight fit. And yes, I totally have a cotton square in my old deck broom in my garage right now, and it totally holds. So old school trick, your grandma did it, it works. Let's see. Next question here. We have yellowish staining around the handles of our wood cabinet doors. It's kind of greasy and doesn't seem to get clean unless I use fingernails, which removes some of the finish. What is that, and how do we clean it off properly without ruining the finish? Oh, Crystal, you ask the best questions. Honestly, you do. Thank you for being such a loyal and wonderful listener. You've asked great questions every week so far. So let's talk cabinets and all the grease around them. So I don't want to gross you out, but the grease you see around the knobs is you. Sorry. Every time you grab the cabinets, you're using your hands, right? You are constantly giving off dead skin cells and body oil. Constantly. I don't care how often you wash your hands, you are. So every time you touch things, anything you frequently touch is going to get gross because your dead skin cells and body oils are rubbing up on there and rubbing off and becoming a nice layered sandwich of body oil and dead skin cells wherever you go. Sorry. You also sweat. So you are giving off salty water too. And your body is not perfectly pH neutral. So you are also helping damage the finish with all that oil and that dead skin cells and that sweat and that salt that's rubbing and growing and layering every time you open that cabinet. I know it's gross. I'm sorry. Welcome to biology. But the good news is you can keep up with it. If you clean your cabinets regularly with microfiber, it will pull all that off and keep it maintained so you're not getting that buildup. But you're saying, hey, too bad. I'm here now. It already happened. I didn't watch your show a couple weeks ago. It didn't exist yet. What do I do now? Fair question. And that is you want to buy something called Howard Clean-A-Finish. Howard, I love them. Great company. They make Restore-A-Finish. For those that know it, is a miracle product for any dumb thing you've done to wood. You're actually going to probably need both products in this situation, by the way, because you mentioned you've been using your fingernails. Stop that. A number one. Don't do that anymore because you are scratch and finish. So Howard Clean-A-Finish, so it's clean-a-finish, is a wood safe soap that is aggressive enough to get that greasy buildup, but not aggressive enough to damage wood finish, even antique wood finish. That's what it's designed for. Howard Company focuses on beautiful care of wood, even antiques. So they make great products for your old cabinets and your old hutches and anything like that. And that Howard Clean-A-Finish will deep clean around those knobs without trashing the finish. So go ahead and use that to get all the old school grease off. Use a microfiber towel, spray it on there, rub good, no fingernails, and that product will take it off. Now, if it's already too late and you've been using your fingernails, and now when you finally clean all that off, you realize, oh no, this oil has been eating at my finish for a long time now, and all these knob areas are bare now. I can see bare wood. What do I do? Now you want to use something called Howard Restore-A-Finish. Howard Restore-A-Finish is magic in a can. It is a mixture of finish, solvents, and stain. So it uses all three to basically dissolve the top layer of your existing finish just the teeniest bit, impregnate it with new fresh finish, and make it smooth, and apply dye and stain deep into the bare wood that's there to recolor it, all in one easy rub-on step. The stuff is killer. So what you're going to do is deep clean those cabinets, get them nice and clean, get all that grime off. Then you're going to get a can of Howard Restore-A-Finish in the shade that matches your cabinet, because again, it's got stain to it, so you want to make sure it matches. They have like a bunch of shades, like a dozen of them. Pick the stain that matches, and with another microfiber towel, one you don't care about, an old stained one, because it is going to stain the towel because it's got wood stain in it. So don't use your fresh towels up for that one. Rub it in there, and it's going to totally obscure and restore the damage to the finish around those knobs, and the cabinets are going to look chef's kiss, I promise you. I dare you to take some before and after shots. You're going to love it. I promise you. And the products are all pretty affordable too, so it's not even a big commitment. All right, next question. How to get rid of spider webs? Is there anything I can do to keep them from coming back? Short of killing the spiders, no. Just kidding. But let's see here. Honest answer is we like spiders. Spiders are helping us, actually, as much as we find them creepy. I find them creepy too. But they are eating all the bugs that are actually dangerous to us. Mosquitoes and other things that bring diseases and what have you. Mosquitoes are our friend. They are catching all that stuff for us. I'm sorry, mosquitoes are not our friend. Mosquitoes are jerks. Spiders are our friends. We like them. We don't want them dead, but at the same time, we don't want them all over the house because, yeah, they're spiders. So you got to clean up the webs. Honestly, the easiest thing is a chenille microfiber duster. I will show you here real quick. Here is our chenille microfiber duster, and it is mindlessly easy to get all your cobwebs. All you're going to do is take this guy and fold it into any shape you want. It does anything, okay? So fold it in whatever shape you want. Go full length if you want. I don't care. Whatever the situation is, wherever you see this cobweb, Usually if I'm just going around doing basic dusting, I keep it folded in half so it's not too long and hard to manage. But if I need to go really high, I can reach it straight out. Or if I'm getting ceiling fans, I can fold it like this. I can do anything I want with it. And this microfiber has these chenille microfiber little fingers, so it can get all uneven surfaces. If you got crown molding up there, if you got any weird place the spider has found its little home, these fingers are going to grab up all that web and get in every little weird spot. And when you're done, you're like, but now this is covered in spider webs. No problem. Comes right off. Throw it in the wash. Throw it in the dryer. Medium setting, no high heat. Thank you. Microfiber and high heat don't like each other. But as long as you do it in medium setting, you can wash the thing for hundreds of washes. So you will always have a fresh duster. If you've been messing around with a nasty old lamb's wool duster or those old school feather dusters, you can't wash them. They're nasty. Throw them out. Use this guy and you'll be so much happier. You get up the cobwebs, wash that bad boy up, and you're good to go. Let's see here. Let's see. Eric with a great question here. Let's see what we got. You always ask great questions, so I know you're going to have one. If you are a solo professional home cleaner and a customer blames you for scratches on the floor, but you know 100% you didn't do it, what should you do? Ooh, how do you prevent this issue in the future? Yes, Eric, I feel you. So you bring up a big topic. This conversation right now is about to go to the professionals. Home consumers, plug your ears. Home consumers have no clue what their house actually looks like under all their dirt. Yes, I just said it out loud. Y'all let your house go to heck, then you finally call a cleaning company, they clean it for you, and you see what you've done to your poor house, and you go, oh, the cleaning company did stuff to my house. No, you didn't. You did. You did it months ago. And your dirt's been hiding it from you. And then someone finally cleaned it enough so you can see, and you're in a bad mood because you're suspicious that new cleaner might not be good. So you're sitting there looking like this at everything, and every scratch that ever was there is suddenly their fault. It's not their fault. It's your fault. You did it. You knocked over something. You scratched the floor. You totally did it, but you just couldn't see because your floor was gross. So what do? As a professional, I'm going to tell you right now, brand reputation management is always top priority. Whether you did it or not, sorry, but boo, you're going to deal with it, because in this day and age, online reviews are everything. People want to buy from a professional company they can trust to take care of their claims. And I know you said, but this isn't my claim. I know, I feel you. Life's not fair, but no one ever promised it would be. I'm sorry. If you want your cleaning company to succeed long term, you're going to have to make peace with fixing stuff that you didn't do because it protects your brand. Sorry, I said this sad part out loud. You're going to have to do it. You're going to protect your brand as you do it, and you're going to explain to the customer, to be honest, I don't think we caused those scratches, but I want to make sure your floors look beautiful. So I'm going to help you out because I know how. And then you're going to fix it for them. There's lots of ways to fix scratches in floors. Howard Restore Finish, like I mentioned before, is wonderful for fine scratches on floors. Most fine scratches I'm able to obscure beautifully with just Howard Restore Finish. If you go on Amazon, you will find all manner of scratch removal kits. The ones with the waxes work wonderfully, where it's basically a tinted wax that you're able to press into that scratch, obscure it beautifully. Rejuvenate makes a wonderful floor cleaner that it basically puts like a layer of new polyurethane to kind of hide the scratches on it. Be careful with those temporary polishes though, whether it's Rejuvenate or Holloway Quick Shine or Bona floor polish. Understand that if you're putting a polish to hide the scratches, it's not permanent. It's not real polyurethane. So when you clean, it's going to slowly come off. When you want to reapply it, you have to take off all of it, not just slop more polish on top. I see this all the time. It drives you bonkers. People use a Bona or a Rejuvenate or a Holloway Quick Shine, and they are trying to hide all the scratches on the floor. They mop it all down. It looks great for, maybe 3 months. Then after regular life, it starts to wear off and looks crummy and it's off and it's patchy. And they don't take the time to scrub it all off, and they just slop more finish on. And now you've got this uneven layer cake of dirt and old finish and new finish and old finish, new finish, old finish, new finish, and your floors are going to look like heck. Stop it. The product you want is Holloway Quick Shine Deep Cleaner Concentrate. So type in Holloway Deep Cleaner and it'll come right up on Amazon. that product is safe on wood, safe on laminates, safe on VCT tile, any place you might have put some sort of Mop and Glow or Bona polish or any of those icky, polymer polishes. It's going to deep clean that all off, get it all off without damaging the original finish underneath. And that's what you want. So use that, clean it down to bare, put it back on. The reality is in professional cleaning, you've got to get good at fixing small damage claims yourself. You do. You can't go run into the insurance for every single teeny little thing. You want to make sure you keep your insurance rates competitive enough that you can afford to pay them long term and get good insurance that covers you. But you want to use that for when you've trashed a huge floor, not every single time there's a little scratch because someone's chair got pulled out and they didn't realize that they did it themselves and the floor was dirty. So get good at buying products like Howard Restore Finish and the little wax kits and applying products like Bona Floor Polish. You'll get the floor to look beautiful. The customer will be happy. It'll be fixed quick for them and everyone's good to go as long as you're professional and handle it fast. If you get into a he said, she said online about, we didn't scratch it, you did it yourself, good luck, because that no one loves anything more than a flame war. If you try to address that online direct like that, you are doing so much more damage to your business than would have been the cost of just paying to have their floors redone. Trust me on this one, don't do it. All right, so there, I'm taking off my professional cleaning coach hat and getting back into cleaning. Let's see here. I bought, Trina's saying to me here, I bought the UMCK, which is, by the way, code for the Ultimate Microfiber Cleaning Kit. Love that product, yes. Everything you need to clean floor to ceiling. With the discount after one of the recent live streams, it's great so far. When it's time to wash the load of microfiber, how much microfiber gets shedded and as microfiber microplastics when washing microfiber. Okay, sorry. I was having trouble reading here because it's acting a little funny. Let me answer you clearly here. So what Trina is asking is, she got this new kit. It's awesome. It's clean and great for her, but now she's got to actually do the laundry. She's concerned about microplastics shedding into the water, which is a legitimate concern because is a planet. We do have an issue around microplastics, but I'll explain that it's actually not microfiber that they're talking about. Everyone hears the word microplastics and hears microplastics and those microfiber are synthetic, and so they think the whole conversation everyone's having is about microfiber products. And let me tell you, microfiber cleaning products are such a tiny percentage of the issue. Microplastics, big picture, is mostly from foodstuffs. All your containers for all your drinks and beverages and snacks and things are finding their way into the environment and into the waterways and breaking down into little bits, and it's polluting the crap out of the planet. Let's be honest, we got a big problem. But microplastics are a minimal part of the issue, mostly because the fibers are so tiny. What usually is happening that's causing the big issues is things like animals trying to eat, and there's microplastics in the dirt and the food and the sand, and they're getting all these little plastic bits in them, and it's making them very sick. Quality microfiber doesn't shed much microfiber at all. If you get the high quality good stuff like microfiber wholesale, there's minimal shed. These things last for 300 plus washes. That's how little minimal shed we get off our stuff. So you are not the culprit in this issue. I promise, just because it says micro and plastics, your microfiber kit is not what's killing the environment right now. Now, your bottles from your cleaning products and your bottles from your foodstuffs and your little snacky poos and everything else that you've been getting, those are causing some of the issue. We're going to have to work on that. We're all collectively going to have to figure out how to be better about recycling. But if you want to address microplastic pollution, honestly, you're better off with the microfiber, and I'll explain why. When you clean with microfiber, you're able to use so much less soap and water. Remember how I just mentioned before, the biggest contributor to microplastics is the plastic bottles of all your Mr. Clean and Floor Spray and 409 and all those products. Those bottles are what's turning into the big microplastic issue that is trashing the planet. When you clean with high quality microfiber, you can do it with just tap water. If you clean regularly with microfiber, all you need is tap water. Rinse, wring it out, go. as a professional cleaner, you usually have to use some kind of soap because people wait 2+ weeks before you get there to clean. And sometimes they wait months before you get there to clean. So you're digging through some pretty heavy stuff. But if it's your own house and you're just regularly keeping up with cabinets and counters and your dining room table, you can just do it some good warm water, wring it out, and microfiber actually naturally attracts to oils and grit and soap residue, and it can pull it all into the fibers and hold on to it because those tiny fibers give a friction that actually holds onto the dirt. And polyamide and polyester in the fiber itself is oleophilic. It likes oil, so it absorbs and holds onto those too. So it can do a great job cleaning just being the fiber that it is. So if you want to decrease your contribution to microplastics, cleaning more frequently with microfiber will actually get you as a human to produce so much less pollution than whatever teeny little bit of microplastic fibers might come off during the wash. And again, it's a micro amount because these are very high quality fibers. They don't snap very often. And these towels last hundreds of washes. So that is the long-winded answer, but wonderful question because I think it's very misunderstood. It's actually big issue I see lots of times in science is just names that sound similar to each other. So for example, the big one I see a lot of time commercially is quat sanitizers. They're quaternary ammonium compounds is what they are. People see the ammonium thing and think there's ammonia in that cleaning product and they freak out. I can't use this. They said no ammonia on my windows. It's like, no, that's not ammonia. It's quaternary ammonium compounds. Completely different chemical. Not at all ammonia. But they see the name and they freak. And they end up missing out on an amazing product that's actually going to disinfect and is safe on their surface and does all these awesome things because they saw that ammonium and think it's ammonia. When people hear about microplastics, they think it sounds like microfiber and they're like, oh, I shouldn't be using microfiber. It's bad for the environment. When actually, if they used it, they'd be so much better off for the environment because they'd go through so much less soap. So let's go ahead and move on to a next question. I dropped a bottle of olive oil on my concrete porch, which left a large spot. Oh no. How can I get the discoloration out? Oh, I'm so sorry, Michelle. Okay, so there's several products that will help you with this. First, I'm sorry, oil stains stink. They're tough on driveways. They're tough on porches, whether it's machine oil or it's foodstuffs. Oil is hard to lift in that type of quantities. So I want to set realistic expectations first that this is not going to be an easy task and it may take a couple tries and there may still be a slight discoloration at the end. If you want to bring out a professional with a pressure washer, they will be the most successful at getting that completely out for you. But if you want to DIY it yourself, here is what you need. Oil Eater. Let me see if I can get the product link up here real quick. Let's see if I can help you out here. Let's see here if I can pull it up. So Oil Eater Cleaner Degreaser. I want to make sure I said the name right so you can look at it later. Just type it in Amazon. Oil Eater Cleaner Degreaser. Actually, let me see if I can throw a link right in the chats right now. I think I can. Let's see if I can do this. And rocket. Now I know how to. All right, so Oil Eater Cleaner Degreaser is what you want if you've got an oil stain on your driveway, on your deck, whatever you've done. Degreasers is a category of product that is designed to bond to oil molecules and solvents that break up that oil and dissolve it and make it easy enough for water to pull it away. Water and oil don't want to mix, right? So usually if you're trying to use just a traditional soap, surfactants try to lift and hold onto the oil, but when there's that much, they're not going to be enough. Degreasers have the solvents and a heavier amount of the surfactants and detergents that allow them to break apart that oil and bond to it with the surfactants, lift it up into the water and take it away. So Oil Eater Cleaner Degreaser is a very popular one for good reason. It's excellent. The other thing you're going to need is a good old-fashioned deck brush. I know, I'm telling you, you're going to have to start scrubbing because you are, okay? So you're going to take a deck brush, screw it on your old broom, or mop pole. You can get that on Amazon or the local hardware store too. And since it's outdoors, at least it's easier to use water on. And you're going to sit there plunging and scrubbing with the oil leader degreaser. And the scrubbing action is going to help foam and build up and pull up all that grease that's been embedded in the concrete. Depending on how long it's been there, this may be a couple application game as you're trying to get up all that grease that's soaked deep into the concrete, because concrete's porous and it's going to, over time, just slide its way down. You're trying to at least get that upper layer off so no one can see it, but there may still be some underneath that kind of shows up after a couple rainstorms and stuff like that. It's okay. You're going to keep scrubbing at it, and eventually that stain will go away. If you find that just you don't have the gumption to keep going, a professional will come out with the same sort of degreaser, and they'll come out with a pressure washer where they can use that 4,000 psi to really like push into the concrete and like pop out all the oil, and they can just go and that thing's done. So if you decide I'm exhausted, I ain't playing no more, get a professional. They'll come out with the pressure washer. Old Brit I used to work with, men in kilts, they're awesome, love them. They will legit show up to your door in an adorable kilt and a smile, and they will spray down that concrete deck, and they will get that grease out with a big old pressure washer, clean it up for you, make it look good as new, and they're on your way. But again, if you want a DIY, Odor Eater is the way to go, but you're going to be doing some scrubbing, I'm sorry. Let's see here. But frankly, it's fun to fire the professionals, especially when they show up in a kilt, and it's a lot of fun. It's a good laugh. Let's see here. Next question. I love microfiber cloths. This is Bethane Gray Davis. Nice to meet you. Let's see here. I love microfiber cloths from Microfiber Wholesale. Oh, thank you. I have been using the ones I have now for close to a year and washed them with Microfiber Safe laundry detergent. My rags have recently started to not absorb basically anything. Let me see here. So I have to turn it off so I can see the rest of the comment, but let me do that for a second here. All right, so let me see here. My rags have recently started to not absorb basically anything, like as if I was using fabric softener, but I don't. And even wash them in washing machine where the fabric softener isn't used. Is it time to replace them, or is there any way to make my old rags like new? Yes, great question, Bethany. I wanted to make sure I got it out because this is an important topic. Your microfiber is okay. You can save it. If you've got microfiber that is losing absorbency, that's a natural thing that's going to happen if you're not using detergent that's designed to strip microfiber. Let me explain. I know you're not using fabric softeners. I know you're taking beautiful care of them. I believe you. But here's the deal. When you clean, there's always oil involved. Every time you clean your cabinets, your counters, your kitchen, your bathroom, all the oils from you, your own body, are all over your house. The oils from your foodstuffs is spraying into the air. Every time you clean with those towels, they are picking up oil. And as I mentioned earlier, microfiber is oleophilic. By nature, it bonds to oils. So over time, it's going to start getting less absorbent because it's bonded to all those oils unless you use a product that strips it out. You didn't do anything wrong. This is the natural part of cleaning with microfiber. You want a product that strips it out. So if you go on to Amazon and click around, you will find a product called Micro Restore. Micro Restore is designed for the auto care industry, actually, to help strip all the waxes and polishes out of their fancy car towels. And I love the product. It does a great job, and I have seen it take old microfiber that's absolutely impregnated with oil and strip it all out. So run not a hot cycle, warm, okay, be careful. We don't want to melt our fibers, but run a medium, permanent press type cycle with warm heat. And the Micro Restore, you can even soak them in a bucket early beforehand to give them some time to pre-soak. Run the cycle. You may have to run them through once or twice, and you're going to find that that product is able to strip out all the embedded oils in your fibers, and those towels will come right back. Microfiber should last over 300 plus washes. And my guess is you have a bunch of it, so you're not using every single towel every single time, and you're certainly not cleaning daily. So if you've been using that for a year, you've got multiple years left with the towel set you've got. It's just time to use a stripping product to get the oil out. Once you do, I promise they'll be good to go and you can keep washing and enjoying them. So I know my dear company was probably like, hey, it's a chance to sell more towels. What are you doing? I want you to get the most out of your towels because I want you to tell all your friends how amazing these towels are and how long they last. And I don't want you thinking that they only are good for a year because they get oily. You can fix it. You got this. All right. Next question. But also feel free to buy more towels if you want to too. Anyhow, Charmaine Adams asks, what type of soap should we wash our microfiber cloths in? Well, I just answered it, so I'll say it again. Micro Restore is wonderful for restoring neglected microfiber, but you don't have to use that every time. If you're just trying to maintain your microfiber normally, any basic detergent will do as long as it meets the following criteria. 1, no fabric softeners. As we just discussed, oils clog up and fill up microfiber, taking up the space in all those holes where the dirt should go, makes them less absorbent, makes them pick up less dirt. It's a bad day. So no fabric softeners in your laundry when you're cleaning microfiber. 2, double check that your detergent doesn't have softeners in it too. You'll see a lot of detergents now that say, Tide with Febreze freshness and Downy softness. Look at the thing. If it says it's Downy softness or softening agents anywhere, run. That means oils, okay? You want a straightforward detergent. So, Tide Free and Clear, Tide Basic, functional detergent. That will do a great job for you. Beware of any additive that might have any sort of oil base to it. You're fine with anything like whatever borax, whatever product type you're using there, but don't add anything that might have conditioners to it. Don't be sitting there shaking essential oils in there. Again, oils are going to build up. Also be mindful what you're cleaning with the microfiber. You can use microfiber to apply polishes, but understand that those towels will have more oil and be less absorbent. So I recommend if you're going to use a microfiber towel to polish, you should, because it does a great job, but get a different color for your polished towels and consistently use just those towels to polish, because they will be less absorbent, but who cares, because they always just are being used with oil, so it doesn't matter. And now you've eliminated that issue because most of the oil will stay bonded to that towel. It won't destroy all your towels because you're constantly using different towels every time with polish, and now they're all getting oily. So try to have specific towels designated for oils. Any basic detergent will do a great job. The other biggie is try to avoid bleach as much as you can. Now, if you're working in a commercial facility and you have to disinfect and you're concerned, use as little as you can. I'm talking like 1/3 of a cup per megaload. Don't flood it with bleach. Bleach is extremely aggressive to all fibers, cotton and synthetic. And over time, it's going to break down that microfiber and make it deteriorate way faster. If you must bleach because you're in a situation where you have to, as little as possible, and you want to alternate with a rinse cycle of some vinegar. I know that sounds weird, but bleach is alkaline, and it, again, is going to bond to the fibers, damage the fibers, but the vinegar rinse is going to help strip off the alkaline and get the sodium hydrochloride, the bleach out of there. So it's going to help your towels, A, smell less bleachy, but B, last a little longer in that harsh environment. It's not a guarantee. It will still break it down. Bleach is still not good for your fibers, but it helps lessen the blow a bit, okay? If you want to disinfect your towels another way, the easiest way is the dryer. Medium heat, no high heat for microfiber. So if you put on the permanent press setting so it's warm, not burning hot, and you leave it in there for around an hour, 135 degrees for 1 hour is all you need to achieve sanitization of laundering goods with heat. Everyone thinks they have to heat blast things really high. Heat and germs is always a killer. It's just about time. If you want to kill germs fast, high heat. If you want to kill germs without high heat, you just got to wait longer. So if I go down to 135 degrees, an hour's exposure to 135-degree heat will cook most germs to a nice golden brown, and they're no problem. So dryer cycle, 1 hour, medium heat setting is enough to kill the germs. You're good to go. You don't have to bleach. Just to get a good basic soap, and you'll be in good shape. If your microfiber is built up with a lot of stains, though, definitely seek out products like Micro Restore. they will strip that for you. I've been testing just recently. I'm loving, by the way. I just have this on my desk. I'm going to show it to you. This is Nano X stain remover. I'm loving. It's supposed to be for sportswear, but it takes some serious stains on a microfiber too. I was testing it actually as a product previously in my old role at MadePro as a cleaning consultant for them. They would run into an issue of towels getting stained regularly from kitchen grease, and this actually works surprisingly well. Gets makeup out of microfiber, all kinds of cool stuff. So it's going to be harder for you to track down as a residential consumer, but for commercial ones, it's actually surprisingly good. So go ahead and check it out. Let's see here. What type of soap should we wash our... Oh, that was a question. I'm sorry, we already did that one. My bad. Okay, we are using Docapol for a 36-foot reach. Are there any plans for something longer? Let's see here. I'm guessing this is for high dusting you're asking about. So here's the long and short answer. When dusting at extreme heights, there's a lot of poles already in the industry that do an amazing job. Unger is a known brand with some crazy long poles. But that's really as far as they're going to go. At a certain point, there's some modular carbon fiber poles, but once you get past a certain reach, you're getting to a place where it's frankly a little risky to manage it. Even the carbon fiber poles for the guys that are doing the window washing with the purified water, once you start getting past 36-foot reach, the poles get heavy, man. They're already using braces to try to hold those poles. And they're modular. They can click them in and send them all the way up as far as they want to go. But once you start getting past that 36-foot reach, it's heavy. So I'm going to encourage you, if you've got a commercial application, talk to your supplier. You may be in the world of carbon fiber poles at that point, but beware, you may want to tap out at a certain length because it can get dangerous, hard, and risky to manage past those lengths. But great question. Can vouch for the Chanel duster. We have crown molding and it handles it like a champ. Oh, thank you, Lynn. It's true, isn't it, though? I love that thing. All right, let's see here. Other question. How can we clean a chandelier type light fixture? Are the little individual crystals a pain? All the little individual crystals are a pain and the hardware is delicate. Ugh, Crystal. Okay, Crystal's got a crystal chandelier. Oh, this is a fun moment. All right, so let's talk chandeliers. You're not going to like this answer. I'm going to tell you, get a professional. I know. You don't want to hear me, but I got to rep for my peoples right now. There's a lot of things in cleaning that you as a home consumer can absolutely do yourself, and that's great. I love it when people DIY, save your pennies, respect it. But there are some things that are a technical skill that you doing it once in a blue moon by yourself are never going to get as good at it as someone who does it for a living. And high-end chandelier cleaning, that is one of those topics. Okay, if you're going to clean a really nice chandelier right, you need a full setup and you need to know how to work it properly. A professional chandelier cleaning outfit is going to come out with all these ladders where they suspend fabric to catch any falling crystals. They have all manner of systems and purified water and cleaners they're using to clean each individual crystal. And they're so good at gently, delicately dealing with those very fine wires and holdings and not snapping them because they do it every day. There's a certain, technique to getting that level of pressure where you're holding everything and you're not snapping everything, but you're able to scrub everything. It's a skill. It is a refined tradesperson's skill. And I could tell you to go do it yourself, but I'm going to be honest with you, you're most likely to end up dropping some crystals and you're going to be pissed and you're going to come back on my show next week and say, you told me to do this and it went horrible. Of course it did, because you don't do it for a living. If you have to, if you just don't have the money right now, I will tell you that purified water is going to be one of the most important things you do when you clean that crystal. Obviously, microfiber is going to do a great job. A nice plush microfiber is going to pull all that dirt and contaminant and dust off. But you want to make sure you're working with really purified water, because any water left behind is going to leave a discoloration and streaks on that crystal, and you're not going to get that same brilliant shine that you would with purified water. So make sure you're getting distilled, purified water from the grocery store to do it with. Make sure that you have put down all the pillows, suspension of blankets, whatever you can to protect the crystals that fall from hitting the floor. And be careful as you can, man. And ladders, oh my God, people are bad at ladders. I don't even want to put you up on them, Crystal, honestly, because again, for commercial cleaning, the top three sources of claims are overexertion, fall from height, and slip and fall on wet surfaces. So I don't like ladders. Just instinctually, as a mom and as a professional cleaner, we need them. But as much as I can keep you as a non-trades person off them, don't do it. Now, if you are professional, I've never actually asked. I've seen you on here a couple weeks, but I should ask if you are a professional. Again, unless you're making this your specialty trade, I wouldn't do it. If you're just a traditional house cleaner that's doing maintenance cleaning for house cleaning, specialty cleaning like chandeliers should not be falling under your daily auspices. It's not your problem. Your customers don't realize the difference. They're going to go, hey, you're the maid. Can't you do the chandelier? And it's like, yeah, just like your plumber isn't going to necessarily know how to work all your, pool equipment and your coffee maker and anything that runs water. Just because they happen to deal with things with water doesn't mean they deal with everything that deals with water. They know their realm and their section of the gig. You as a maintenance cleaner are supposed to be in charge of your maintenance part of the gig. Specialty surface cleaning, like cleaning out ducts and vents, like cleaning out chimneys, like cleaning chandeliers, are specialty jobs. It's not your job to become a jack of all trades because your customers don't understand the difference. It's okay to say no. The liability on those really nice chandeliers is thousands of bucks. You don't want it. So if you got customers trying to push you to do it, just be upfront and say, hey, we're not a chandelier cleaning outfit. We'll do basic light fixtures, but when it gets to nice chandeliers, that's where we tap out. Here's the company we recommend. Go ahead and Google, find the ones you like, check their reviews, talk to them, make sure you feel comfortable referring them, and have that name ready. So when your customer says, can't you fix it? You say, nope, I prefer not to go bankrupt trying to fix your chandelier, but here's the product you need, and here's the company that can do it. Let's see here. Thank you so much for the systemic perspective in your reassuring answers and the patience with my wordy question. Oh, Trina, no, that was a great question. And honestly, I really appreciate you bringing it up because we were talking earlier, and I know we're going past the hour mark, but I just want to finish this off real quick here. I think in general, we have a real issue with people not looking systemically at environmental issues when it comes to cleaning. We as a country have a big problem coming here, which is that we've been kind of kicking the can down the road and into the water for generations when it comes to how we treat the environment. And now we're in panic zone and everyone's latching on to any random hot word that's up for this week about how they're going to save the environment by getting the plastic straws. They're like this much of the world's plastic problem, but sure, this week, plastic straws. And everyone gets burnt out worrying about plastic straws, and then they didn't address the bigger issues. Same thing with cleaning products. Honestly, if you're going to address your impact on the environment through cleaning, number one, clean stuff more often. Number two, use tools like microfiber that help you use less soap and less waste. Number three, back off the paper towels. Number four, make sure that you're using product in concentrate. When you buy ready-to-use product, you're paying to ship plastic and water across country, so your carbon imprint on getting it to you is awful, and the plastic in the trash right after you're done is also awful. Get concentrates. There's so many things that we can all do that are little small changes that can make such a huge impact on the environment if we just think systemically about how we treat Mother Nature, as opposed to just going ham on this one new hot topic this week, getting burnt out and, giving up. Think big picture, start small with the basics, and just a few changes, we can all make such difference. So thank you for bringing that up, Trina. On that note, it is well past the hour. You guys have asked wonderful questions, but for anyone that's hung out this long, I want to go ahead and one last time shamelessly plug FloorCare15 is our promo code. Please enjoy, get some stuff, the discount from me, FloorCare15 at McFerverWholesaleCoop.com. And for those who want to geek out on this topic even more, for the theme this week, which was floor care, I got a new article out, the best way to clean all your hard floors. Go ahead and scan that QR code, go find the link, and read up on how to take care of your floors beautifully. For everyone else here, please like, subscribe, follow, come back, and let us know in the comments what topic you want us to focus on next week. We're here to serve, And I would love to see you all here next week, and bring your friends. All right. Thanks, guys. It's been an awesome time, and I look forward to seeing you next week.